Hello, this is a Seiko Pilot Chronograph, the 7T32-7E50, a quartz chronograph watch from the late 90s. This is packed full of interesting features in a very attractive package. I'm going to show you around it. So the idea of this video is that it's a guided tour. We'll have a look at the actual watch itself, and I'll show you some of the features and some of the details. Let's get cracking. I'm going to zoom in on the dial to start with. So it's a matte black dial under very bright light. It sort of has a blue tinge to it, but I think it is black. Whilst I've got the torch on, you can see the loom. So it's got the traditional Seiko loom, nice and loomy, sort of green loom. It works really well. The bits that are loomed are the numbers, the little dots where there's no numbers, and the hands. And it glows all night. It's really good. Traditional Seiko loom, excellent, always good. So this dial is packed full of information, but it's very well designed. So let's start at the top. 12 is, there's no number because there's this subdial. So there's 3 subdials. The subdial at 12 is the chronograph minutes elapsed. We'll keep going around. 1 and 2, there are numbers. 3 is replaced by the white framed date window and the applied Seiko logo, and underneath it in italics, chronograph, water resist 100 meters. So that's all at the 3. We'll keep going round. At 4 and 5 there's the numbers. 6 there's just the little dash, and there's a subdial, and this is an alarm subdial. 7, 8. At 9, little dash, because we have the subdial, and this is the seconds for the watch. You can see it ticking away. Lovely little red hand, second hand ticking. 10, 11, and we're back to 12. So the dial itself, packed full of information, but actually very legible. The hands themselves, great big minute hand reaching all the way out to the numbers, filled with loom. The hour hand, quite short and stubby. You can differentiate between the two nice and clearly, both filled with loom. And then the chapter ring, if we look at it sideways, this chapter ring coming up from it's quite a deep dial. The dial is placed quite deep within the watch, and the chapter ring comes off at an angle. And the chapter ring has the compass markings on it. You can see there, it's difficult with the reflections. Let's see if I can focus it nicely. So north, east, south, west, and then various other things. Let's leave the dial. I think we've covered everything. Oh yeah, just down at the bottom, right down here, is the movement Japan 7T32, the module number, etc. The big seconds hand here doesn't move because it's the chronograph seconds hand. So if I set the chronograph going, you can see the big red tipped second hand of the chronograph is relatively smoothly ticking away. So that's counting seconds elapsed for stopwatch basically. So that's the stopwatch chronograph seconds ticking away nicely. The minutes elapsed is this subdial at 12. So I'll just let that go for a minute or so, and then you'll be able to see the red hand of the minutes elapsed subdial jump. So that isn't smooth like the seconds hand, that will jump. Whilst that's ticking away, I'll mention this outer bezel here. This is fixed, this tachymeter bezel, which is really attractive. It doesn't turn, it doesn't rotate. So that's a fixed bezel, and that's a tachymeter with tachymeter markings deep inside. So it's got black paint deep inside the writing. Here we go. I'm watching for the minutes to jump across. There we go. So the minutes elapsed 1. Now you start with the top right. You can do laps or whatever, count laps, and then to reset is top left. At the moment, the seconds, the chronograph, hang on, let me get this settled. The chronograph seconds lines up perfectly with the 12. What if it doesn't? Well, sometimes you might get a watch that's got the chronograph seconds is not lined up, and you think, oh no, it's broken. Or you might change the battery and the little alignment might go out. Easily fixed. So this is how you realign the chronograph seconds. You can also realign the a sec. The chronograph minutes. Let's see if I can do that. Yeah, okay. So say, for example, your chronograph alignment is way out. You can see the seconds is, if I stop start, it's not going back to 0. So how do you fix that? So you pull out the main crown to the second click, top left, you push, and that you can see you're resetting the chronograph seconds. So I'll let that swoosh round. So I'm going to get that to, I'm just pushing the top left so that it perfectly lines up. There, perfect. Now the minutes chronograph is out of alignment, so top right for that, and I just keep pushing that, get that to line up perfectly with 12, and push the crown back in, and I'm fixed. So now if I set the chronograph off and reset it, it will reset perfectly to 12, and the alignment is sorted. Let's have a look at some other features. The time is just reset traditionally with the crowns. Put it out to the second stop and just change the time like normal. I'm going to pop it down to 6 area so I can change the date for you. So that's the first stop, and it's a quick set date, and just put it out to the first stop and away you go for changing the date. Now the recommendation for changing date is to have the hands pointing down, because it can interfere with the little date wheel, which is a little fragile in all watches apparently. So there we go. I'm going to put the hands back up to the top-ish. As you'll have noticed probably, the crown is out, so the seconds have stopped, so it's a hacking movement. Okay, everything's back to normal, off we go. What about the alarm? So the subdial at 6 is set with this bottom right crown, little crown. It's a pull-out thing as well. Neither of the crowns is screw down, 100-meter water resist. So I'm going to pull the first crown, the crown at 4 out to the second stop. Now this is what you do with this. So the first thing you need to do is set the time of the subdial. You could use it as a dual time feature. So you could set it, I don't know, to in an hour back, and then that reads your second time. Alternatively, use it as an alarm and set it to the time, the current time. So that is now tracking the current time. Perfect. Now I'm going to set the alarm. So pull it out to the first stop, and that's what the alarm sounds like. What do you think? So it's not going to wake you up. It's the sort of thing, I don't know, you might set it in a quiet room just to remind you of something. I don't know what you would use an alarm for that's not on your phone. It goes for a while. To stop it, you push the crown in. How do I set the alarm though? That was what I wanted to show you. You put it out to the first setting and you push the left, bottom left pusher, and that is how you set the alarm. Now it's a 12-hour alarm, so it's now 10:10. If I wanted to set it for 10:15 tonight, I couldn't. I can only set it for, well, you know what I mean. It is a 12-hour alarm. Right, I'm going to set it for 10:10, and there we go. So I've set it for 10:10, and then there we go. So it's resetting itself back to the time, but I haven't set the alarm here. I haven't activated the alarm. I need to put it out to the first crown. Okay, alarm is set. Right, that was a bit waffly. So here, whilst we're waiting for that to beep, let's have a look at the case itself. Bead blasted, really beautifully done. It's just very attractive, quite smooth. So there's no angular edges to it. There's no different colours or shapes or textures. It's all bead blasted, relatively swoopy lugs, not too long, not too short. The whole thing is bead blasted, so the bracelet matches the case. Left is you've got your 2 pushers, right you've got your top pusher, 2 crowns. It's very beautifully balanced. The bracelet is nice. So the end lugs are hollow, like all Seiko, so it's a little on the rattly side. You can pinch it tighter to get rid of that rattle. The bracelet itself is solid, and it's very nice. And the clasp, usual fold over thing, but this one's got little pushers to lock it in place and an extra one on top, keep it nice and safe. So, oh, I didn't measure the watch, did I, at the beginning? Let's measure the watch. So it's from dial to edge of the watch to the other edge is 39 millimeters, excluding all the crowns and pushers. Those really give it extra presence, the pushers and crowns, so it's all quite wide. So if I was to go from one end of a pusher to the other, it's 47 millimeters, relatively significant wrist presence. I'll show you it on. So I have a 7.5-inch wrist, and this definitely has presence. Oh, there we go. The alarm's off. Cool. Comfortable though. It sits nicely. It's not tall. I didn't measure the height, did I? The height is, oh, it's not even one. Barely. It's 1 centimeter, 10 millimeters height. And there we go. It's just a very easy watch to wear. Full of features. The case back, nothing particularly remarkable. Seiko logo, stainless steel. Oh, it's a screw down case back, I should have said. 7T32 movement. What was this? 10 bar. The bracelet model number, if you're interested. Let's have a look at that. Oh gosh, hang on a sec. Zoom in there. 461767. Is that 67 or 6T? 6I? Gosh, I don't know. GI? Hang on. Let's get this right. I don't want to set you off on the wrong path. I had a. Oh, my kids have taken my binocular, my little magnifying glass. 75176I. I reckon. That's the trouble with getting old, isn't it? I mean, I've got my glasses on and everything. I need a little magnifying glass for most things. I'll get one of those ones off the back of the newspaper that's got a little light in it. I've covered everything. Have I covered everything? I've covered everything. Yeah. Yep, I've covered everything. There you go. Gosh, I just wanted to be thorough. Hopefully you've got something out of this video. It's a little bit rambly. I do apologise. That's kind of my style, I think. Have a look around my channel. I do other watch reviews. I do knife reviews and EDC stuff as well. Quite a bit of that stuff. Have a look around. There might be something that takes your fancy. If you have any comments, please leave them below. Keep them nice and friendly, please. That would be much appreciated. Like and subscribe, always appreciated too. There we go. Thanks very much for watching. I really appreciate you sticking with me. I'll see you soon.